Tonight on Global TV News Prime, People's Democratic Party inaugurates new Board of Trustees, promises renewal, fairness. In business, federal government rolls out new plans to tackle food shortage. On the foreign scene, world leaders engage on climate talks in Brazil. In sports, Morocco to host CAF 2025 award ceremony on November 19. Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime here on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Let's begin tonight by telling you, following the dissolution of the Adolfo Wabara-led Board of Trustees by a faction loyal to the party's new acting national chairman, Abdulrahman Mohammed, the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has inaugurated a new Board of Trustees to restore confidence, integrity, and unity within the party. The event held at the Federal Capital Territory Administration official residence in Abuja brought together party elders, stakeholders, and political allies as the leadership pledged to begin what he described as a new era of renewal and justice. For details, here is Kabir Hassan's report. We'll bring you details of that report later. Let's turn to other stories for you tonight. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials to various local government areas across Anambra State ahead of the governorship election scheduled for Saturday, November 8, 2025. The distribution exercise, which took place at the Central Bank of Nigeria branch in Awka, the state capital, was supervised by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Queen Elizabeth Agu, amid heavy deployment of security personnel.
Dr. Agu noted that INEC had made comprehensive preparations in collaboration with political parties, security agencies, and civil society organizations to guarantee a free, fair, transparent, and credible process, calling on Anambra voters to turn out for the exercise.
I am begging the people of Anambra, please, after all this preparation, everybody has put in something to make sure that this election is what it is. If you do not come out to vote, it's like making a very good food, pot of food, nobody to eat it, it will sour. I beg you, don't stay in the house and be telling people and be saying my candidate is winning. Come and vote for that your candidate.
On his part, Commissioner of Police in charge of election security in Anambra, Abayomi Shogunle, disclosed that the number of security personnel deployed for the poll had been increased from 45,000 to 55,000 officers, with an assurance that the police force had already done critical deployments for the electoral exercise.
And everything that is needed to be put in place to ensure that this happens in terms of security and logistics has been put in place. And part of meeting the timeline is what we are witnessing here today, which is the commencement of the distribution of electoral materials from the Central Bank Awka to all the local government areas in the state.
INEC says 16 candidates from 16 registered political parties are contesting in the governorship election to wrest power from the incumbent governor, and candidates of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Professor Chukuma Soludo. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV.
Let's return to our earlier story now. Following the dissolution of the Adolfo Wabara-led Board of Trustees by a faction loyal to the party's new acting national chairman, Abdulrahman Mohammed, the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has inaugurated a new Board of Trustees to restore confidence, integrity, and unity within the party. The event held at the Federal Capital Territory Administration official residence in Abuja brought together party elders, stakeholders, and political allies as the leadership pledged to begin what he described as a new era of renewal and justice. For details, here is Kabir Hassan's report.
It was an emergency meeting of the People's Democratic Party National Working Committee, a gathering that marked what members described as a turning point in the party's history. The acting national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, said the new Board of Trustees symbolizes the rebirth of the party, reaffirming its founding principles of justice, fairness, inclusivity, and respect to the rule of law. Abdurrahman noted that the previous board had lost moral balance and credibility, which necessitated the restructuring to restore order and unity within the party.
Today marks another significant turning point in the life of our great party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP. We have come together not merely to inaugurate a new Board of Trustees, but to renew our faith in the ideals that give birth to this great political family. For justice, fairness, inclusivity, and respect for the rule of law.
The newly inaugurated Board of Trustees is chaired by Senator Mao Onahabunwa, with Isa Dansidi serving as secretary. Both leaders pledges to uphold unity, fairness, and discipline while working closely with the National Working Committee to strengthen internal democracy and restore public trust in the PDP.
And I believe that if we continue in this way, in keeping with our constitution, tenets, abiding by our rules and regulations, our party will definitely be the party that it is known for.
With the theme beginning of new era, the new leadership assured members of its readiness to reform the party structure, promote accountability, and ensure respect for the rule of law. The PDP leadership expressed optimism that the renewed focus on fairness and inclusivity will help reposition the party as a credible alternative in Nigeria democratic space. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
And on to election matters. As to the Anambra 2025 governorship election, two major civil society bodies are raising strong concerns about voter apathy, low competitiveness, and among local political parties, and persistent security risks across parts of the state. This comes as Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, and the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room briefed the media in Awka, the state capital, on preparations and early warning signs. Anietje Patrick now reports.
From Awka, the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD West Africa, says despite a 98.8% permanent voter card collection rate, Anambra still faces the real threat of low turnout at the polls. The organization says it has deployed over 178 observers across the 21 local government areas, and their early findings show worrying voter apathy made worse by weak voter mobilization from political parties and unresolved internal crisis within many of them. CDD also warned of persistent security concerns, especially in Ihiala, Nnewi South, Orumba South, and border communities like Lilu, Azia, and Amoka, areas where violence and weak oversight of vigilantes could depress voter participation.
One of the problems we have in this society, they are our politicians. That if we have them have a change of attitude, at least we'll be more than 70% up in our performance.
On the information front, CDD flagged widespread misinformation and hate speech. 7 major patterns were identified for manipulation of security narratives and religious divides, to distorted campaign messages and gender-based attacks encouraging women's political participation.
While it is ordinarily happening to note INEC's report of a 98.8% PVC collection rate, there is still some concern that this will not translate into a high enough voter turnout.
To address this, the group has activated its Election Analysis Center to track and counter disinformation in real time. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Civil Society Room is also expressing concern about turnout, while acknowledging the calmer pre-election environment compared to previous cycles. The group says Anambra still ranks among states with the lowest voter participation. The Situation Room has deployed field observers and says it will closely monitor ballot integrity, campaign finance, misinformation, security deployment, and inclusivity, especially for persons with disabilities. Both organizations say confidence in the new INEC leadership will deepen heavily on early deployment of election materials, proper management of beavers, timely result transmission, and transparent collation. Security deployment is massive. 45,000 police personnel, numbers civil society groups say reflect wider weaknesses in Nigeria's democratic process, even as they call for professionalism and non-intimidation of voters. With over 2.8 million registered voters and 5,718 polling units, civil society is urging Ndi Anambra to come out and vote, and for political actors to put democratic integrity first. Both the CDD and the Situation Room say tomorrow's governorship election will be a critical test for the state and for Nigeria's electoral system. From Awka, Anambra State, Annie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
The Federal Fire Service has announced plans to strengthen its partnership with the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, to enhance fire safety in Nigerian tertiary institutions. This came to the fore when officials of the Fire Service, led by the Controller General, paid a courtesy visit to TETFund in Abuja. Global TV correspondent Ramsey Enoch Agbo has details.
Speaking during the visit, Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Samuel Adeyemi, highlighted the need for improved fire prevention measures in universities and colleges. He proposed closer collaboration between both agencies in the installation of firearms, smoke detectors, and extinguishers in all buildings funded by TETFund, as well as regular safety inspections and fire education for students.
Federal Fire Service, we are here today to strengthen the existing relationship that we have with TETFund. The more. 2024, about 3 federal universities hostels was gutted by fire. The investment TETFund is doing is large. Then me, myself, and the management, we sat down that we need to collaborate with TETFund.
The TETFund's Executive Secretary, Aksoni Echono, commended the initiative, describing fire safety as essential and pledging to ensure that all tertiary institutions under the fund's project incorporate fire prevention facilities, including mini fire stations where possible.
Fire protection is so essential. Preparing the classification of the buildings, ensuring that you have fire protection devices, the water hydrant, fire hydrants, the sprinkler systems for the bigger buildings, smoke detectors, and all the other facilities that have become so integral. In many countries, it's a prerequisite. So you cannot use any building unless you have those in place. But more importantly, you also need to educate the people. Educating people and the cautiousness and what to do in the event of fire is something that should not only be limited to us and our premises, but to all our beneficiary institutions.
The collaboration is expected to go a long way to prevent fire outbreak in and around TETFund facilities and save the lives of both staff and students as well as properties of tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Ramsey. The 30th National Council on Works has opened in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, with Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí declaring the event open and reaffirming his administration's commitment to what he described as road revolution that enhances connectivity, access to markets, and community development. Representing the Minister of Works, David Omai, State Minister of Works, Mohammed Bello Goronyo, commended President Tinubu and Governor Imbaji for their commitment to infrastructure renewal. Benue State government is urging owners of demolished properties along the ongoing Makurdi 9th Mile Road project to present valid building approvals from the State Urban Development Board and Town Planning Department. The government says this will enable affected persons benefit from the ongoing compensation exercise. Global TV correspondent Felicity Ndere now reports.
The Benue State government has begun clearing structures to pave way for the dualization of Federal Road from Wurukum in Makurdi to 9th Mile in Enugu State, a project covering over 500 kilometers. Following the demolition, residents and property owners, including the newly commissioned Tinubu Campaign Organization and the African Democratic Congress, ADC, have expressed concern over the exercise. Responding to the complaints, Director of Civil Engineering and Desk Officer for Compensation, Engineer Solomon Wombo, appealed to affected persons with valid documents and approved building plans from the State Urban Development Board to present them for compensation.
Let me cite an example. We have destroyed Ashafa filling station. Why is he not complaining? We have destroyed Zenith Bank. Why is he not complaining? We have destroyed the Atorutio, estate. He is not complaining. We have destroyed Eko Bank. He is not complaining. We are going to destroy Kabis now. Kabis will not complain. They have presented valid document of a development approval.
For the issue of demolition at that APC premises and ADC. ADC for sure, all of them know they have developed outside the property line. All those developments that were removed were right on the right of way.
Some property owners say they were already informed about the road expansion and support the government's efforts.
Our fence has been affected by this demolition, but as painful as it is, we were actually marked for this demolition and we were aware.
Others, particularly in the Kanshio area, claim that the demolition came without adequate notice.
We then come to mark the house, then tell us, say then go pay us. My children go there, go right. 1 naira they no pay. Or even yesterday when they come to destroy something there, we come, then I go there, I go meet them. I say, I go come this side. They say, no, I leave all my load. Now so they scatter them.
As the dualization of the Makurdi Otukpo 9th Mile Enugu Road continues, the government maintains that only the resident with valid document will be duly compensated. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime here on Global Television. When the rest of the news returns shortly, Morocco to host the FIFA 2025 Awards on November 19. We have that from the world of sports, as well as other stories from business and for a segment for you. Do stay with us. Part of tonight's news broadcast now returns with business. The federal government has unveiled new agricultural reforms aimed at ending hunger, boosting feed production, and reducing post-harvest losses estimated at over $10 billion annually, in line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for feed security and national prosperity. Minister of Agriculture and Feed Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, and Minister of State, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, announced this through a signed statement. Kyari said agriculture remains the backbone of Nigeria's economy and key to national renewal, noting that government's ongoing reforms are designed to end hunger, ensure feed sufficiency, and drastically reduce post-harvest losses, draining the nation's agricultural value chain. Executive Chairman of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, has expressed optimism that Nigeria's crude oil output will soon witness a significant boost following the completion of a new offshore production facility. Komolafe expressed his excitement in a statement issued by the Commission's head of media and strategic communications, Eniola Akinkotu, after an official visit to Dubai Dry Docks World in the United Arab Emirates. Let's go to the foreign scene quickly. Fears of fracturing global resolve loomed over climate talks in the Brazilian Amazon as world leaders acknowledged their failure to contain global warming to agreed limits. Heads of states and governments met in the city of Belém ahead of the United Nations COP30 conference, which is set to take place without the United States, one of the nations most responsible for planet warming emissions. Zarao Nasiro completes the report.
Opening the leaders' gathering, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres set the tone by declaring that the world has failed in its promise to hold long-term warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era.
Every fraction of a degree means more hunger, displacement, and loss, especially for those least responsible. This is moral failure and deadly negligence. Yes, the new excellencies, the United Nations will not give up on the 1.5 degrees goal. Because another truth is evident. We have never been better equipped to fight back. A clean energy revolution has taken hold.
Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gustin Brun, railed against what she called the large polluters who continue to deliberately destroy the world's marine and terrestrial environments with poisonous fossil fuel gases.
I'm not going to speak on the issue of the loss and damage fund because all of us should hold our heads down in shame, because having established this fund a few years ago in Sharm el-Sheikh, its capital base is still under $800 million, while Jamaica reels from damage in excess of $7 billion US, not to mention Cuba, Haiti, or the Bahamas.
Brazil hopes COP30, which officially begins on Monday, can reaffirm that climate change remains a global priority despite wars, trade tensions, economic uncertainty, and the chilling effect of the Trump administration. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Now time to take a look at sports for you. The Confederation of African Football has announced that the 2025 edition of the CAF Awards will take place in Rabat, Morocco on Wednesday, November 19, 2025. According to a statement posted on the website of CAF, the event scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Nigerian time will celebrate Africa's top footballers, coaches, clubs, and national teams for their outstanding performances over the past year. Nigeria once again takes center stage with several of its stars among the front runners for major honors. And coming closer to home now, Lagos State Sports Commission has unveiled a partnership with a community club in the UK, Abbey Rangers Football Club, to enhance grassroots football development in the state. Under the partnership, the Lagos State Sports Commission and Abbey Rangers FC will collaborate to deliver a comprehensive grassroots development framework across 7 key pillars. The partnership encompasses talent development, coaching capacity enhancement, sports science integration, community engagement, policy advisory support, resource mobilization, and infrastructure compensation. Now let's wrap up tonight's news broadcast with a look at some of our big stories. Following the dissolution of the Adolfo Swabara-led Board of Trustees by a faction loyal to the party's new acting national chairman, Abdulrahman Mohammed, the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has inaugurated a new Board of Trustees. In business, the federal government has unveiled new agricultural reforms aimed at ending hunger, boosting food production, and reducing post-harvest losses. On the foreign scene, fears of a fracturing global resolve loomed over climate talks in the Brazilian Amazon as world leaders acknowledged their failure to contain global warming to agreed limits. And finally, in sports tonight, we told you the Confederation of African Football has announced that the 2025 edition of the CAF Awards will take place in Rabat, Morocco on Wednesday, November 19, 2025. And that's how we conclude News Prime tonight. On behalf of my colleagues who have made this broadcast possible, I am Uyi Agumofwegwe, thanking you very specially for watching. Just a reminder that on the 8th of November, which is tomorrow, Saturday, Global Television will bring you extensive updates on the gubernatorial election in Anambra State. Here is wishing you the best of the weekend and good night.